Hello, everyone. So recently, as I've been speedrunning, I've noticed a trend in chat, and that is that not many of you know how to read my timer. Like, obviously, you can see what time I'm at a certain area in the game, but not many of you can know what the more advanced things mean, like possible time save, PB and best possible time, sum of best, and GLODs, and green numbers, red numbers. Not many of you know what that means. And at first I was a little confused because I just assumed everybody knew what that kind of stuff meant. But then I asked a question in chat where it was like, am I the only speedrunner that you guys watch? And it wasn't everybody, but it seemed like a majority of people were like, yeah, you're the only speedrunner that I watch. And that wasn't the answer I was expecting. I don't know why. A lot of streamers make assumptions about viewers, and I just kind of expected that everybody knew what everything in the timer meant. But not everybody does. So, what this video is going to be all about is this: my timer, and how to read it, how to understand it, because I think you'll enjoy my speedruns a lot more when you know exactly what everything means. So, yeah, let's get started. I'm going to use this layout because it's more familiar to everyone. The game's here, the timer's here. Now, this timer, the program is called Livesplit, and pretty much every speedrunner uses it. As long as you're streaming or recording from a PC using a capture card, pretty much every speedrunner uses Livesplit. Now, you've heard me refer to areas called splits. It's because of the name Livesplit. I don't know why it's called Livesplit. It just is. But if I move on to the next area, then that's a split right there. I split, and now we're on to the next area, and yeah, that's why if you've heard me refer to moving on to another area as splitting, like I split early, split late, it's because of the name of the program, Livesplit. Now, if you watch other speedrunners, you'll see each runner has like a variation of the timer. It's customizable, basically, is what I'm trying to say. For me, I like a vertical timer. Some people like a horizontal timer that fills up the top or bottom of the screen. I like a vertical timer. Now, I'm not going to talk about what other speedrunners do. I'm just going to talk about the way I set up my Livesplit timer. So pretty much all the time, right here, follow the mouse. The game is up here, and the category is right here. Now, this number right here, this is sort of a recent addition to Livesplit. It's an attempt counter. So each time I start the timer and stop, the number goes up by 1. Because people were starting to ask, how many runs, how many attempts have you done today? When I implemented this feature, people began asking, what's the number mean on the top right? So I can't really win. But yes, now you all know this number is an attempt counter. Now, what are these numbers? These numbers, if you see on the bottom left, I always have who the record holder for whatever category I'm running is. And you'll see if I have the record, this number will match this number right here. This number right here is, well, basically the split name and the number in between these red lines right here is the final split of the run. You'll see right here if I scroll, there's a lot of splits, and the one at the bottom is the eventual final split. I want that displayed on the screen at all times, and you see a lot of other streamers do that as well. So if this number and this number match, that means, well, if you didn't notice this part, that means I'm the record holder. I can bring up an example right here that shows you otherwise. So if you're wondering, like, okay, my personal bet, this is from 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. If I'm running easy any % new game plus, this number and this number don't match. This number is basically my personal best. You'll see it that PB for short. PB means personal best. I can't call it a record because at the time I didn't have the record. So 2:29:08 is my personal best. That is the record. These splits, these numbers aren't comparing against the record. They're comparing against my personal best. Now, while I'm here, I may as well show you how Livesplit works in terms of saving. Livesplit works very similarly to a Word document, where you can save a lot of different things. So here I have two different things, Livesplit layouts, where you can change colors and the size, like the vertical and the horizontal size. You can add a background image. I have 5 different ones. One's my normal one. This one, I'll just open them all. Has it's smaller because then I could because then I can fit a camera down here. I used to do that. This one, I know, just put up with that noise. This one is different because it has a program built in to pause the timer when there's a loading screen on there. This one's for Last of Us 2. This one's when I used to run Mario Golf a long time ago. It's a 4:3 aspect ratio game, so I need to make everything a little shorter. And this one's for Left Behind, where I add hundredths of seconds for the any percent route run. I even have what the record is down here. And yeah, but normally it looks like this for my normal Last of Us runs. I can get rid of that. And these are all my times. So clicking those other ones would give you a different layout. These bring up the times. I have Uncharted. My old ones, I have all the Last of Us stuff and Left Behind right here. Everything is saved right here. And if you want to like save it under a different spot, so here you would save splits or save layout, or you can save layout as and then save it under a different name. You can also save splits as and then save that under a different name. So there's 2 different ways you can do it. And it's customizable, and it's pretty handy and convenient. All right, let's get to learning some things here. So I'm going to start the timer, and you're going to notice 3 extra things pop up on the Livesplit timer. So here we go. Okay, whatever split I'm currently doing is highlighted in blue. You know, if I scroll down to different ones, you'll see you can just pick a split. But the 3 things that popped up are PB with a time, best with a time, and then a time next to possible time save. Now, it's currently highlighted over intro. PB, as I mentioned before, stands for personal best. I wish Livesplit had a thing where you could change it to WR to represent world record, but you can't. You can only go for PB. So, which is fine. The PB stands for personal best, and it's whatever time I got in my personal best that I'm comparing to. Best is the best time that I ever got in an individual area. So in my record or personal best, I got an 8:30.6. The best time I ever got in intro was an 8:30 on the dot. And the difference between those is 0.6 seconds. Now, possible time save means whatever the difference is between personal best and best, that's what this number is. So if I'm able to match my gold perfectly, I save 0.6 seconds. Now, you'll hear me refer to best as a gold because if you're able to beat this time, it shows it in gold. Or GLOD. If you hear me say gold or GLOD is just, I didn't invent that meme. It's a speedrunning meme. Sometimes people like to pronounce things incorrectly for fun. You see other speedrunners chat say, this is earn instead of the run, or that's a GLOD instead of a gold. It's just a speedrunning meme. I didn't invent it. It was invented a long time ago by somebody. I don't know who. But yes, if you beat this best time, it shows it in gold. Now, you can go back and cancel the gold. Now, what should I explain next? Yes, I guess I should explain the timers here. So this timer right here is your overall time. This timer right here is the time you have for the individual area. So what happens if I split here? This timer keeps going, this one goes down to 0 and starts counting again, because now we're in hallway fuckface. And you can go back up and cancel it. You can skip splits, you can, oh, I didn't like that, or I hit something wrong, and you can just go back. And yeah, every best time combined, or added together, is right here. So, because people get best possible time and sum of best confused. How do I word this? So, sum of best is the addition of all your best splits in the run combined. Now, every best time I have combined adds up to a 248.09.4. Now, when a run begins, this time also says the same thing. But as you continue to go and go and go, and let's say hypothetically I get an 8:34 on the dot. Actually, you know what? I think I can change it so it starts at a certain time. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I can. Okay. 8:33. Okay, now watch this. Okay, right there. I split when the time was 8:34 in an intro where my best time was an 8:30. Now, right here, I lost 3.3 seconds in comparison to my personal best, right here. But compared to the best time I ever had in the intro, I lost 4 seconds. And also right here, best possible time, you can see no longer matches sum of best. Sum of best is always going to be the same. It can't increase. It can only decrease. If you continue to get best times and you keep getting golds, this number is going to continue to go down. It can never go up, only down. This number will also go down only if you get golds. But if you don't get a gold and you miss, if you're maybe 4 seconds slow, it's going to go up by 4 seconds. As you can see, it went from a 248.09 to a 248.13. So this number went up by 4 seconds. However many seconds you are off your best time, this number will go up by that much. Now, what happens in a situation where the PB and the best match? That means that you got the best time that you've ever gotten in this area in your personal best or record. So if the numbers match, it means you got the best time you ever got in your personal best or your record. So if you don't match that or duplicate that, you're going to be losing time. And however much time, let's say you get a 10:33.8, which is 2 seconds worse, these are both going to say +2. If you get a 10:29.8 and you cut 2 seconds, these are both going to be gold and say -2. And both of these will go down by 2. So oftentimes you'll see me say, oh, I'm going to save time here, save time in comparison to my personal best, but lose time on my best possible time. Like, I can't show it here, but no, I can't. Well, maybe I can show it again in the intro. Yeah, okay. Let me set it at 8:29. Okay, watch this. Remember, it's an 8:30.6 and an 8:30 on the dot. Okay, right there. See that? I got an 8:30.2. 8:30.2. So I was 0.2 of a second worse than my best intro of all time. However, compared to my personal best intro, the intro that I got in my personal best or / record, I was 0.4 of a second better. Now, if you look right here, again, sum of best didn't go down because it wasn't a gold. this number went up by 0.2 seconds. As you can see, 248.09.4, now it's at 248.09.6 because it was 0.2 of a second worse. So really, as I'm getting closer to the end of the run, if this number is below my record time, I know I still have a chance. Which is why you often hear me say, oh, I reset a gold. What exactly does that mean? Well, let me show you. If you right-click on the splits and go to Edit Splits, this is where you can change all your times and split names and whatnot. You can insert a new split right below. And let's say one day I wanted to separate slums and wharf. I can call this wharf and then put in a time. For now, I'm going to remove it, though. Let me bring that up again. Okay, here we go. Now, notice my sum of best, 248.09.4. This is the overall time in the run that I was finished with the areas. These are the times that I have. These are the times I had in my record or personal best when I was finished with the areas, and these are the best times that I had in the individual areas. Now, let's say one day, oh, I'm tired of constantly getting perfect intros, but I'm still losing time. It's kind of demoralizing if you think you did an area perfectly, but you still lost time. I want to change my gold. I want to make it higher. Now watch this. Sum of best 248.09.4. I'm going to make it match the time I got in my record, 830.69. Now I'm going to change it. Now watch the sum of best. Watch it right here. It just went up by 0.6 seconds. So now it's a 248.10.1. Now it's like, why would you want to raise your sum of best? Well, sometimes I just want a more accurate. It's like I may never get that time again, and sometimes I'm just like I want to be able to achieve another gold someday. You'll see me do this a lot later on in the run. I like to reset the golds a lot from like here onward, as long as they're really, really close to each other. Like these aren't my real golds. Some of these are reset. But a lot of the splits right here, especially Graveyard, or I call it Billcrest, a 505.3 is still the best Graveyard I ever had on Grounded. It's still the best one. I ain't getting rid of this one. But I like to reset the later ones. So that's why, oftentimes when I run Grounded, you'll see that I am able to gold a lot of areas later on in the run. And that's because I reset golds. I make the best segment match the segment time that I had in my record. And if you don't save it, it just kind of reverts back to normal. Now, don't worry. After this, I'm going to bring up a lot of examples from prior videos that I've made. And you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. But the next thing I want to talk about is the different colors that show up as I'm doing the run and I get further into the run. There are 5 different colors. There's gold, or glod. There's a dark green, a light green, a dark red, and like a light red. I wouldn't call it pink, it's more just light red. What do they mean? Well, I can't really show you on here, so I'm going to bring up a video to more accurately show you. Okay, this is like the best example I can show off right here. This is from a run that was about from like a week ago. So right here, like I mentioned, the 5 colors: light green, dark green, gold, a dark red, and a light red. So light green means that I cut time. Like, I want to be minus. I want to be as far minus as I possibly can, because you want to be lower than this by the end of the run. Now, light green, what that means is that I'm still minus, but I lost time in comparison to the previous area. So the previous area, I can actually look back here. I was minus 6.3, and then when I completed Fuck You Henry, I was minus 3.2. So I lost 3.1 seconds. But because I'm still minus, it's like a lighter green. Now, when I get finished with this area, I split. All right, that damn fight, I lost 1.5 seconds or 1.4 something. We'll round it up to 1.5. So I'm still minus, but I lost time. So it's a lighter shade of green. Now, this right here is perfect. I'm going to freeze it right here. This is perfect because it shows every color. So the dark red means this is all in compare. This has nothing to do with my best time or anything. It just has to do with the PB, like I said earlier. So a dark red means that I lost time and I'm trailing. So that's a double negative. You lost time in comparison to the previous area, which was Henry's. And yeah, I had a bad searchlight in this run. And I'm plus. You don't want to be plus, you want to be minus. So it's a darker shade of red when you're plus and you lost time in comparison to the previous area. Now this area right here, I cut 0.3 of a second. This would show it's minus 0.3. However, I'm still plus. So that's what the lighter shade of red means. I cut 0.3 of a second here. This is just examples. I cut 0.3 of a second here, but I'm still plus. Now, a gold, this is the question I get asked the most. How can it be a gold if you're plus? How can it be a gold if you're plus? A gold has nothing to do with pace. Whether you're plus or minus, it doesn't matter. A gold has to do with that individual area. So in this attempt right here, I got the best sniper that I ever got in my entire life, comparing against this category. So yeah, gold has nothing to do with whether you're ahead or you're trailing. It just has to do with that area. You could get an entire run of... You could be like plus 20 minutes. Why would I continue a run where I'm plus 20 minutes? I don't know. Let's just say I do. And I get 1 gold in there. It's still a gold. It doesn't matter whether you're minus or plus. That's just repeating myself because that's the question I get asked the most. Gold, nothing to do with pace, just the individual area. Okay, now for a dark green. A dark green means you cut time and you're minus. You want to see a lot of dark greens in your run. So in this situation here, I cut, compared to Sniper, I cut 6.3 seconds, and that put me back in the minus. So you cut time and you're minus. Yeah, I think that's everything. Let me try and go over, let me find some other videos with some more examples. All right, this is a really good area to show off a little misconception that people have about what cutting time actually means. So let's look at the situation here. I'm minus, it's a pretty unique situation. This was my grounded glitchless new game plus record video. At the time I was comparing against a 249.50. I ended up getting a 248.36. But as of right now, I'm about to leave Rip Callus. I'm minus 8. You know, we're running out of splits. We're getting close to the end of the game, but I'm only minus 8. Yet if you look over here, my best possible time is a 248.45, which is 1 minute and 5 seconds lower than this. So I'm on pace to get like 1 minute and 5 seconds better, yet I'm only minus 8 heading into here. So where is that time save? If you look right here, personal best, which again means the time that I got in this area in my personal best, and my best time, which again is the best time I've ever gotten in this area, is a 423.6. The difference between these two, 54.6. So if I get a 423.6 in this area, I'm cutting 54.6 seconds off of this already. So let's let this play out a little bit. Speed it up a little. Now watch this. Big thing of time save right there. Now I'm minus 1 minute 7. Now right after this happened, a viewer asked me, oh my God, how did you save 1 minute and 7 seconds in that area? That's not how it works. I'm only 1 minute and 7 seconds better pace-wise compared to this run right here. Now, in this individual area, I cut 59.7 seconds. Put that on top of the 8 seconds I was already ahead of this run, and that puts me 1 minute and 7 seconds better heading into this area. So, the time save came from not me finding a new strat that saved either 59 seconds or 1 minute and 7 seconds. It came from the fact I was comparing against a terrible section that I had in my personal best. I royally fucked this area up, losing me, 54.6 seconds compared to the best time I ever did it. That's where the time save came from. It's all about, these times right here are all about in comparison to whatever you did in the time you're comparing against. So right here, I lost 1.1 seconds compared to the university I had in my 249.50. Right here, this was 1.2 seconds better compared to the science lab that I had in this run. And now watch the best possible time and the sum of best when I split here. I believe the gold was minus 5.1. You're going to see these go down by 5.1. Watch. Boom. So getting a gold is like a huge deal when you get closer to the end, because you're just lowering this time more and more and more and more. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show off here. I didn't find something that cut off 59 seconds. This just means I had a really bad rib callus in my personal best. That's all that means. Okay, let's see. Let's look at a different video. Okay, here's a Left Behind run I did 4 or 5 days ago. This is good because you can see every single split in the entire run. So right here, I lost 0.1 seconds in the first split. Second split, I cut 1.3 seconds, and because I cut time and a minus, it's a dark green. Now here I'm minus, but I lost 0.7 seconds, so it's a lighter green. Here I cut another 1.1 seconds, and I'm minus, so it's a dark green. I got a gold here. Remember, gold doesn't matter if you're a plus or minus. This was the best pre-final fight I ever had, so it's a gold. Right here, I believe I lost time. No, I forgot to split. So right here, I lost 2.7 seconds, but I'm still minus, so it's a lighter green. And then look at my PB right here. My personal best, I got a 112.6 in this area. But the best time I ever had is a 102.3. So if I get a 102.3 right here, I save 10.3 seconds in the overall run. If I just skip ahead. All right, I'm about to split, and I got a 0.7 gold. This was 0.7 seconds better than the previous best Final Fight Part 2 that I ever got. So this was the best Final Fight Part 2 that I ever got. 0.7 seconds better. Now, that made it so I was 11.1 seconds better than what I did in my 29.04. And also, my sum of best just went down by 0.7 seconds, as well as my best possible time. Here, let me show you that part again. So right here. Boom. They just went down by 0.7 seconds each. And yeah, hopefully you guys are starting to understand it a little more. That's kind of all I have to show you, I think. If I forgot anything, I'll answer any questions you guys have about Livesplit in the comments below. If you have a question, I'll answer it. Fun fact about me, I don't respond to every YouTube comment, but I do read every single one. Every single one. So if you have a question about Livesplit, ask it down below, and I will answer it. Hopefully you guys are able to understand it a little better, because I think you'll enjoy my streams more if you do. Then you can understand like my terminology, my way of thinking. You'll know if a run is dead or alive, stuff like that. Because not too often I'll reset a run that, still has a chance of being a record. So, yeah, that's it. See you guys. Bye.